body was somewhat simple, the mind was rather hard, but the soul, God, this one's going to be really hard. It was very difficult to think and research. Now, where better to look for an answer than my own experience? And yes, I have unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, have had an experience beyond this life. But I'm going to save that story for a later time. The point is, I know there is something beyond this life. I know there is a soul. However, let us go through some theories on the soul. Just about every culture has some form or idea of the soul, and one of the most common ideas are that the soul is the true you. You are not the body, nor mind, but soul. I myself subscribe to this thought. However, I have found some other theories that suggest that the soul projects onto the body from some unknown location, but this just sounded like simulation theory with extra steps. Others believe that there are more than one soul per body. I don't think so. Point is, there are many different ways to look at this. People such as Rene Descartes theorize that the soul is located within the pineal gland or somewhere else in the brain. Little side note, we are going to most likely be looking into Descartes at a later time. But I, for one, cannot say that the soul is stored. From my own experience, the soul simply is. Not stored within some gland, but the entire soul within the entire body. I know I'm being rather vague, but I just want you to get hooked, so do yourself a favor and follow me along on this little journey. So we have now covered the storage of the soul. Now we must ask what the soul is. And the answer is rather simple. It is you. The soul is you. You are the soul. All throughout your life, the soul is being shaped and refined until your final breath. And when you take that final breath, you will leave the body behind. Where will you go? I can't answer, but I know you will go somewhere. I do believe that the soul has within itself the moral framework that we all work within. However, the moral soul is by far the weakest feeling you will ever experience. The body and mind have their own priorities, and if you allow them, they will push your morality aside so that they may obtain that which they desire. They will not care for, nor even consider others that stand between them and their unholy lust to consume everything that can be. Reminds me of a story I heard some time ago. Scientists connected electrodes to the brains of rats to activate their pleasure. The rats were given a button to activate said pleasure when the button is pressed. The rats repeatedly pressed the button until exhaustion, and in some cases death. Absolutely no regard for even their well-being. Only with the strengthening of the soul can you tame them, and you must tame them. Look around you. The never-ending consumption of resources for no other reason other than comfort and pleasure. Consuming so much when others have so little. It is a grand immorality. Of course, I myself am not perfect, though I have had the belief for the longest time of why waste what can be used. Now I must ask you to look at all that has been given to you, and take only what is necessary. The remainder is needed by others, even if it is something as mundane as your time. If it is needed, please do not waste it. Give it to others if you are so inclined. I assure you, you will gain joy from doing so. Now take care of yourself, and set aside time for the well-being of your soul. Now take care.